Modern American churches have a big problem. They're able to pull in large volumes of Christians benefiting from their time, their money, and their labor without actually contributing anything that we'd see in the ancient church: evangelism, teaching, shepherdship. What is it about these large churches that are able to benefit from Christians? And what is it about the small home churches that push people away while actually doing all the legwork that we see in the ancient church? We're going to explore these questions and more in our new series that we're calling Planting a Home Church. It's weird because like starting a church, like I'm not starting a church. The church has started, and it always since I've been in a small home church, a homes group, and been doing these things for years. It's been like 8 years now that I've been in these smaller groups. Um, every time I hear somebody say something like, "I'm starting my church," I'm like, "That's a strange way to phrase that." Uh, the church is created, so what do we mean like when we're saying we're trying to start a church? Well, what we're really saying is we're trying to figure out how do we do church differently than what we see in like the big corporate structure with a single pastor in front of a stage that has smoke and music, and like people think of that as some sort of authority because it's grand. Like there's a bunch of 20 tens 20s hundreds thousands of people that attend or whatever. But what we do is a little bit different because we're just in our house, we're just with our family, we're just with our friends around the community, and we're not even asking for money. It never comes up unless there's like an event for like giving gifts or something. We typically don't say a countdown. We're going to do worship songs and a band doesn't come out, right? We don't have the person that's about to do the announcements. Hey, this is the kids ministry starts on Saturday, and don't forget to enroll your for these classes. Like we don't do that, but people expect that out of church. I'll put air quotes church because that's what they're used to. They want some sort of structure to feel like it's official. But what's lost is that even without all that stuff, if the church is there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. You can put a facade on some of these things and say this is officially the church by calling yourself the church. But if the church is not there, it's not there. Like if the members of the church are not there, there is no church. Not in the sense that we claim like the body of Christ. Like there can be an ecclesia, there can be a gathering of people, but not the way that we are talking about when we read the New Testament, Paul's writings specifically. And so you and I have been talking about this for years, and I'm interested to go into any of this conversation about what does it look like to start, like, because we've already started. You and I have already started this fellowship. We have already started many fellowships, and people move. Me as leader of a fellowship, I've moved. The people that I fellowshipped under, they've moved. But like the people in the group that I fellowship with now, it's already started. Air quotes, started. Like we already pray together. We already worship together. We already study together. We are already doing life together. So what is it? What's left? Well, a little bit is, I'm hesitant to say this because it's like, how do you share like resources? Are we supposed to be in some sort of commune where we all live on the same plot of land and we all get together in the morning and we milk cows? And like that seems really nice and simple.
Yeah, it sounds idyllic, right?
I know, but
we won't have any problems living that way, probably.
Yeah, right. I can imagine. I can go down, I can drive 10, 15, 20 minutes south into the rural areas, and I can get a bunch of my friends to go to that 10 acre, 20 acre plot of land. We could build houses there, but we are still going to have problems because we have flesh and bone still. There's going to be doubt and frustration that creep into our old man self. You can try to live as the Spirit wants you to live, the Spirit of God, loving and caring for each other and giving. But like our corrupt minds are going to be like, I want to be in control of everything. I don't want to milk this morning. I don't want to help. I don't want to go study. I want to go do something very selfish. And then we get into like, well, what about people's like financial needs? I don't want to. Like, how do things like that work when we like have this broken system, even in ourselves, to even be gracious? And what does the Bible say about things like tithing or giving charitably? I have a perspective that tithing is done. That was for the Levitical priests. That sense of like giving due 10, 15, 20, whatever it was, a percentage of your end of year resources. That is not the same system that we're under now. But you can still see the New Testament talks about people in the church that we know now still collecting money and distributing it. But what was that for? Was it mandatory? Does it impact your salvation? Who was getting it and who was giving it? I think those are probably some pretty interesting questions that we can address in this recording or a series of recordings.